Hello, everyone. Today is October 18th, 2023. This is the Kubernetes Data Protection Working Group meeting. I think today the only thing you have is just an update on the CBT. Okay, maybe I just copy all of this here. So anyone want to give an update on this?
Yeah, I can share what we have been doing. So Carl won't be here today because he's not feeling well. So there are I think three items that we look into since the last time we met. The first one let me look through the notes here. So yeah, Carl pinged James to just want to chat with him about the stream. The usage of streaming the gRPC interface. So far he hasn't heard back from James.
Okay. Is it trying to ping him on Slack or?
I think that's what he did. I think he pinged. I think he replied to the comment on GitHub and then pinged him as well. So no response yet. I think we can chat offline with Carl to see or James and see how what's the way forward with this is. And then the second action item is separating the gRPC interfaces for sidecar versus CSI spec. It does look like yeah. So I don't know So I think I are we in agreement that this is the right thing to do?
Well, I thought that's what we decided. I believe we need to update the cap, right? I thought that was the discussion, because CSI specs is the same, right? But it means you do something in the cap. So I don't know. I think we need to update cap for this, I believe.
Yeah. So from Carl's notes that he sent to us, it does simplify things a little bit. So I think
did he update the cap? Let's see.
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. I think that's fine. I think right now the biggest thing is for the CSS, but okay. Maybe we can get back to this one. You said 3. Well, what is the third one?
Yeah, the third one was what Prasad found out about. There was a comment about within the gRPC interface, do we need to add another field called end of list, or can we just depend on the gRPC, the EOF signal as a way to indicate that to the client that all the metadata has been successfully sent across the wire. So Prasad, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we had a discussion around it last time, whether we need dedicated parameters in the response to indicate if if the streaming server has to end the stream, or if there is an error, how do we convey that to the client, right? And we debated around whether EOF. So right now we handle it using EOF. That's the, I think, Golang way of closing the stream at client side. And we were not sure how the error scenario will look like if there is an error in server side, whether and how do client know if it has to end the reading stream if there is an error, or if it's gracefully closed by the server. So we did experiment, and it turned out if there is an error at server side, we get an error and not EOF. And if there is, if the stream is closed by a server, it could be, if there is a end of response, and if server wants to break the stream, the client always get EOF, so we can rely on it.
So I'm sorry, is this you were getting I'm sorry, what are you getting? You're getting
end of file EOF.
End of file?
Yeah, EOF in the
end of file, like this?
in the error code. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but how do we
So
know?
I have
Is there a
also
way to
updated
indicate if it's an error or if it's like successfully ended? That's
yeah, exactly. So that's what we had confusion about. And
okay.
so if the streaming connection is closed by server, we always get EOF,
Okay.
and client would handle that. So that way it would know that it has done all the reading and it can close the connection. If there is an error, the client would get error. I mean the actual error in the error. Otherwise, it gets EOF in the error. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
there's a okay. You
Yeah, we have updated the prototype. I mean, it was a bit confusing because we hadn't added the error handling part here. Uh, yeah, so if you check line number 260, this is a server code.
This one,
So
okay.
yeah, if there is an error, the server would return error.
Okay.
If you scroll down, if you scroll down a bit, this part was confusing because we hadn't added error handling here. So it would return error, and the client would actually get an error instead of EOF in such cases.
Okay.
So Prasad, did you try with like sick kill, sick term, graceful termination, and do they all like end up in a distinct error, not EOF being returned?
I didn't try signal, but yeah, I tried mocking a couple of errors, but not signals. I think you had done some experiment around it, right?
Yeah, I did just some like a simplified, stripped down version of your server to try it. So I guess like yeah, for context for everyone who hasn't been following this feedback is like like currently we like the only way for backup software to know whether like all the data has been streamed across the wire is that we check from EOF signal from the server side. So there were feedback about like oh, maybe we need like a specific end of list field to that's specifically that's how like the server tells the backup software, hey, I have sent you everything that I could find, and now I'm terminating the connection. So like the feedback was around like, can we really trust EOF as like a way to tell the client that we have successfully sent everything? Or EOF can be like, oh, the server basically it just means like the server is saying, hey, I'm done, I'm closing the connection. So I think like Prasad and I did some like more experimentation on it, and so far what we found is like if there is a very specific error, like the code there, that very specific error will be sent back to the client, not an EOF.
Okay.
So we're trying to consider like what if there's a sick term, there's a sick killed, and all of them result in like a non-EOF error being sent back. So there's a way for the client to know, oh, the server died abruptly, or like I got a like all of a sudden I got a fall halfway through the streaming, and so yeah, and then that's what we found so far. And then like we can go into like gRPC provide like graceful termination method and all those things. So I guess like Prasad, what's the conclusion here?
Yeah, so we don't need to add a field in the response, just to let the client know if it's actually an error or if the connection is closed due to an error or if there is end of stream, basically.
Okay.
Is the suggestion that you can get EOF for other reasons than the server is done? Is that what I'm hearing?
In case of errors and other things, we don't get EOF, we get actual error. So EOF we get only it's if the connection is closed by server.
So basically, you're saying we'll check the error code first, and if there's an error code, then we basically that decides there's something wrong on the server side. But if we're not getting this one, if we're just getting a URL, that means then what should client do? That's end anyway, right?
Yeah, that means the server has done sending with all the responses.
Oh, that mean does this always mean success though?
Yeah, I mean,
So
server
it's like
close,
an arrow, not so the so
EOF
if
is
arrow
also an
isn't
error, but
new and something like this, and then that's a success. Is that's what you mean?
no,
Okay,
no. So
not clear.
even if case of EOF, we get non-nil error.
Okay.
Yeah, we just check the error type. If
Okay.
it's not nil, and
So you're saying that there's no need to check this.
But this is
For
a
what
Golang
purpose?
convention, right? Like,
yeah,
can you do the same thing in Python to like detect success versus something going wrong?
I'm not sure.
Okay, I mean, we should be aware that not everyone who implements CSI is using Go, right? Go is the preferred
Mhm.
language, but there are Python implementations out there. It would be good to know
makes sense.
that this EOF scheme works fine in other languages. I mean, presumably it does. I mean, protobufs and gRPC are widely used in those languages. I'm just trying to understand what the concern here is. Are we just explaining the EOF model that was already been proposed and we're accepting? Or
Yeah,
is there a new concern about it?
yeah, if I think we didn't set the context initially. So when we were, discussing about the parameters response field in the response, right? All the parameters. There was a discussion about whether should we add an additional parameter in the gRPC response to indicate that the stream has been, I mean, if the server has done with sending all the responses, and then the client can close the connection.
Yes, yeah, that was my suggestion. But
yeah.
But then I understood this EOF mechanism, and I'm okay with it in principle, as long as like it works across languages and everything else. I thought that the bigger concern 2 weeks ago was that the use of streaming in general didn't appeal to I'm blanking on his name.
James.
James, thank you.
Yeah.
It didn't appeal to James. And that was the thing that we needed to try to resolve.
That basically that is not resolved yet. Looks like Carl has not got a response from James, so that's not sure what.
Okay, so we're still stuck on that open question.
Right. So Ben, other than do you have any other concerns other than the stream one? Or this is kind of blocking, but other than this, I remember last time you're saying you're fine with the other things in that spec, in the CSS spec PR, right?
Yes, I completed my review, and I'm all right with it in its current form for alpha.
Okay.
James was not okay with the use of streaming. He wanted to understand why we couldn't just use a repeated field. And we kind of covered that in the meeting 2 weeks ago, but James wasn't there. So we're kind of in a holding pattern on that issue.
According to pin James, so we need to pin Carl first. So I'm hoping he's here. Not sure exactly what happened. How he pinned it. Did he get any response at all? Or maybe we'll pin Carl first to find out, and then we'll see how do we get James to come back to this. Okay. And another update is I don't know if other folks notice that there is a release for the CSS spec, right? Because we talked about that last time. It's yesterday we're supposed to do that because this other feature is waiting for that. So since this one takes longer, so there is a release out, right? So I'll just put it here. Oh yeah, thanks, Basalia. Please help write down notes on that. Okay, so I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, saying I'll correct the comment.
Yeah, just you add the comment because I'm didn't get exactly completely what you're trying to say. All right, so okay, so this is out. So I think the next step would be we need to, I think action item would be, let's see, action. So we need to find, we need to sync with car and find out the status. And then we need to pin, maybe we need to pin James, still need to pin James to I don't know, discuss this. Right, so still that's the next thing. Otherwise we're kind of stuck. So, but we first need to find out from car and see what exactly is the status. Did he get him to reply or is it no? Right, so that's, I'm not quite sure. And I wonder, Ben, can we, in parallel, can we go ahead with the CAP review? Because we know this is one thing, but I think the CAP can still be reviewed, right? The rest of them we should be able to move forward.
Yes, I had put that on my list, and I'm sorry it keeps
Okay.
having stuff shoved in front of it. That's just my availability
Okay.
being limited.
I'll just say
I agree that I don't need James to agree to the CSI spec to
okay.
proceed with the CAP review.
Right. Because there are other cases where we can actually even merge the CAP first and then waiting for this one. Then we can do another update of the CAP. We have done that for other features, so could do that even. So let's just see what's the status of the CAP. So I think that then we actually have another item for car. So who is going to update the or Prasad or so I don't know who will be updating the CAP.
So, sorry, update the CAP with
I thought there was a question, right? There's I think one action item last time was at least this one separate this part. I think we need something, right? This is one thing. I don't know if there was anything else to address Ben's comments. Right, Ben is going to review the CAP. So at least now we know that this is his concern. So maybe we need to. This would be the first thing we need to address. I don't know about the other things. I don't know if there are other things that need to be addressed, but at least this one we need to address. Because right now, I think we didn't mention they're separate. I believe we have CSI spec there, but we didn't talk about this other. We need to have another interface. We can just say that it's going to be the same, so you don't have to repeat everything. Maybe that's fine for now, right? But we need to at least mention that. Or the why we need two interface. Yeah, need to just explain that.
Yeah, I think the only difference there is the last time we talked about like the secret field. You know, if we separate it, then the secret field won't be needed on the sidecar side. And again, depending on what comes out of the discussion with James on streaming, so that might also be different. So, but anyways, yeah, we'll take between the three of us, we'll take an action to update the CAP.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing to note about the CAP is also we got the PR approved by David.
Yeah, that's actually good.
Yeah, so
at least if everything else is fine, then we can just move forward. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good news. The bar is pretty low for alpha stuff. It gets higher for beta and GA.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we have a plan. Anything else for this? I think there's one thing I want to update. It's I think for folks on this call, I think we talked about this before. There was one thing. Okay, what's that? where is the so so basically this is the what here. Oh, this one needs to be rebased. That's why it's not rebased yet. All right, so this changes. So let me put this in here. This is the wording mode conversion thing. We talked about this one. This actually require a change. I think, I believe both Kasten and PowerProtect actually rely on this, doing this wording mode conversion thing. So,
what were the two things that rely on it?
So okay. Let me write this. Forgot. Oh, sorry, it's too big. So this is the wording mode conversion, right? So let me actually show you this flag. I talked about this one last, I think in previous meeting. Just want to make sure now we are really making the change. I don't want to break your code. So this is like when someone doing, this is normally doing the backup, right? So you have a PVC that is the file system mode. But when you are doing the backup, you create a PVC, and then you create PVC from one snapshot. Then you change the mode to raw block. Then you copy the blocks. This will be more efficient. Of course, when you are really doing the restore, you need to use the original mode, which is the file system. But this wording mode conversion have some security issues. So that's why we have this feature. Now this feature is already beta for maybe already one release. Yeah, I think it's 1.27, I believe we enabled it. We made it beta. But now if we change this, if we enable this one, that means whenever the provisioner is creating a PVC from a volume snapshot, is going to check the mode. If they are different, then it's going to need a annotation on the volume snapshot content. Otherwise, it will be rejected. So this means
the state of the snapshot is stored in the Kubernetes API, like whether it was originally block or file system, that's kept in the Kubernetes API. Did we add that?
So I think this is just they just make a when they do a backup, they just take a snapshot. It's just at that time, it's not like stored there.
No. I'm talking about like independent of backup. When you take a snapshot,
it is in the Kubernetes.
Does Kubernetes remember now?
Yes, Kubernetes has that information, right?
Okay, so that was a new snapshot API change. To remember it?
No, it's not a snapshot. Oh yeah, we made that change. We made an API change. So
okay, I haven't looked at it since.
Oh, you haven't looked at that one. Yeah. So I think
okay.
I don't know if we should have this, but there's let me add the blog. Blog may be easier to read, right? This has everything.
Yeah.
I'll add a link to the blog, and I need to check if we have that in the CSS docs. I think we have that in somewhere in the docs. I'll add those doc links. Take a look.
It's not a CSI specific thing though, right? It's a Kubernetes specific behavior.
It is not, yeah, but it is the CSI driver sidecar has that, right? So if that sidecar has those things, we also add those into documentation. If it's completely not the CSI sidecar, then we don't have to document in there, right? Because this in the CSI driver docs we have.
But how do you override the behavior? That's what I was going to ask next. Is if you do have a backup application, or if we are denying these conversions by default, but a backup driver wants to do them anyways, how does it override the policy?
That's why right now we're enabled. You cannot do that anymore because this is a security problem. We do not want.
But I thought that the original design here was there'd be a way to like allow some volume conversions while preventing others, right? That was the need, because you want backup software to be able to do this safely
Yeah, backup
ordinary
software now
users
need
not to be
to
able to do it.
backup software need to add that, right? Backup software would need to make a change to add that annotation because they are the one who created the snapshot.
So basically, anyone who can add annotations to volume snapshot contents can override this check.
Right. That's the admin thing,
what
right? That's the that's the admin thing.
So that's the access control is if you can't write to the volume snapshot content, you can't override this check, and that's our security mechanism.
Yeah. This is actually what we got from SIG-auth, right? We went to SIG-auth. They're saying, hey, previously what you're trying to do is too complicated. Just do this. This is simple. Yeah, we were trying to have a very complicated design. We went there. They're saying just to use this. Yeah. Okay. So just want to make sure. I don't know, folks on the call. Yeah,
I spoke.
Ivan and Tom, you probably want to.
Yeah, I think
that as well, right? Castor and I know at least you two have this you rely on this the conversion, volume mode conversion somewhere. I remember we talked about this one in previous calls. I don't know if others do this, but at least I remember you guys mentioned you need to make a change.
Yeah, I had a chat with Sukana about this. Like, internally, we definitely use this, but I don't remember what was the outcome of my conversation with him. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't that big of an impact, especially if there's an annotation that we could override.
You need to. But the impact is you need to make a change in your software. If you do not make a change, then it's going to start to fail.
But I thought you said we could use like the annotation to override.
Right. That means you need to make a change in your software to do that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So it needs a code change. So this is like a breaking change basically. So we need to somehow make this. Maybe we need to send out a email on the mailing list, make sure because we only talked about that in this meetings, right? Only a few people knows, but maybe there are actually other people who are doing this. They're not aware.
Yeah, Tom, how big is the impact on PowerFlex site? Do you know?
So we'd have to put an annotation on the snapshot.
Content.
On the content. I would think that you would do that. I was thinking you would do that in the backup software, but if we were to do it in the driver, it's kind of a medium. It's difficult because the driver doesn't use the Kubernetes API right now, so we would have to facilitate that.
It sounds like it should be backup software, not the driver, right? Because you do it in your CSI driver, then you're kind of allowing everybody else to do it. You only want the backup software to use it. You do not want to allow other.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We'd have to know if it's safe or the right use case.
So this is I found the blog.
Yeah.
Let me just add it here so you guys can take a look.
Yeah, it feels like it affects us more than it affects Tom's. So okay, yeah, I'll have okay. Thanks, Xing, for the heads up. I'll propagate that information.
We can sync offline.
You can I think here talked about how to use it, basically how this works. This is the although this is the alpha blog, the same thing, right? It's just now it's enabled by default. It's going to be enabled by default. But this shows you what you need to do. You see here, right? So you need to add this. Let me copy this one. We just do this, right? Need to add. Yeah, I think we still need to, this is the on snapshot, we also need another PR on the provisioner. All right. Okay. So that's this. Are there other things folks want to talk about?
So sorry, Xing, just to confirm that volume mode conversion is becoming GA, right? It's going GA in 1.20.
No, we're going to move it to GA in 1.1.30. Right now, we are just in this release.
Okay.
We are just enable that flag. So because we are auto tree, so if it's in Kubernetes, actually, when you bring bring that feature to beta, you actually should enable that by default. We kind of delayed it a little bit.
Okay.
Right.
And the exact changes is inside the external snapshotter, right? The snapshot service.
External snapshotter and the provisioner. So we actually need to add another. There is a I need to.
So why the snapshotter? It should just be the provisioner, because that's the thing.
Because the right, but in the snapshotter, we have the the new APIs, and there is there are some other things there. Yeah. So when you deploy it,
you mean the code that stores the original volume mode.
Yeah, we need to save that mode, right, from
the
PVC to the volume snapshot, right?
But that's transparent, right? You just have
but it's just we also have a flag to control that. That's why it's there. But the real place that enable this one is actually in the provision there. That's right. Yeah, that's the real.
What's the backwards compatibility story for snapshots where we don't know because it wasn't saved?
If it's not knowing, then it's just the same as before. If you don't know,
it will be allowed. You can do volume conversions.
Yeah, because that's we have to allow backward compatibility. So if it's not there, if it is created using earlier version of the API, then it's not available, right? So we
that creates a de facto security hole if a CSI driver is using an older version of external snapshot or sidecar.
We don't have a way to fix that, right? That's just we have to support backward compatibility. So it's basically the same.
Well, I mean, I guess in the announcement we should tell all CSI vendors, like, please use the up-to-date snapshot or sidecar, right? Because if you don't, there's a security hole.
Right.
Right. They should, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so that's this one. And anyone going to KubeCon? Okay. All right. Okay, so are there any other things we want to discuss today?
So I think since we have missed the CSS spec release, when will be the next release? What is the timeline for us to get the PR in?
I think normally that's kind of as needed, I guess. So I think
typically we would do it once per Kubernetes release, if as needed. I mean, it would be unusual to do it twice within one Kubernetes release. It's not impossible, but yeah, given that we've done it for the current Kubernetes release, we would be aiming to be the next one for the next Kubernetes release.
Okay, got it.
Which actually means we can do it right after 1.29 is released, right? Which is that is what is that end of the
I mean, it'll depend on whether there's anything else we also want to get into that release, right? Because then we'll be waiting for that thing, whatever that is.
Normally we want to wait. Yeah, so it also depends on how we are doing with the cap review and a lot of factors, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and if there's nothing new, we'll go a whole Kubernetes release with no CSI changes. That's happened before. But certainly if we have something, we will do a release for that one thing. And if we have multiple things, we'll try to get them all in.
Yeah, we haven't updated that frequently. When was the last time? Let's see.
Probably the group snapshot stuff was the most recent before the volume mutation stuff.
Breaking changes. Okay, yeah. March. Okay. Okay, so this is like half a year. Okay, so it's okay.
The wheels of CSI turn slowly, unfortunately. The reviewer is hard to pin down.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else we want to discuss? If not, then that's it for today. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Shane.
Bye.
Thing.